Hi guys, Samantha from Jessama Tutorials here, and welcome to day 16 of the Cracklathon, where I am doing one crackle every day for an entire month. So today we are going to be using one step crackle, and here is the bottle so you can have a look. And we're going to be using white clay and alcohol ink. So to start, run out your polymer clay on the thickest setting of your pasta machine, which is about 2 millimeters thick for me, and just trim away any excess, like so. Then take your crackle, give it a quick shake, and then I'm going to put that onto the surface of my clay. And we're going to be using some alcohol inks later. I can't remember if I mentioned that before. But this can be used on any technique you want. I just think it's very effective with alcohol inks. And yes, I know, I use a lot of alcohol inks in my mixed media effect techniques. Sorry about that, but they're my favourite. It's like I use the heat gun a lot. It's a must-have tool in my opinion. Okay, so I'm just making sure that I have a fairly thick layer. Not too thick, I'd say less than 1 millimeter thick, but thick enough that you can't see or feel, I guess, any of the white clay underneath. It all needs to have a nice clean coat. Now that's going to take at least an hour to dry. What I like to do is I like to take a heat gun on my low setting. You can use a hairdryer as well, and I like to just gently coax it into drying. And I'll probably do that every minute or so for the next 15 minutes to get it to dry quicker. And you can see, hopefully you can see that we're starting to get a little bit of movement on the surface. You're going to see that there will start to become cracks and things like that. That is what you are expecting. So continue doing this for 15 minutes, or you can just let it dry on its own for an hour or two. Keep in mind that using the heat gun is going to create a slightly different crackle than if you had just let it air dry. It's up to you whether you want to do it the quick way or the long way, depending on what crackle you would like to achieve. Okay, so it's just about dry. So I'm going to lift that off the tile and just shift it around so hopefully you can see that there are some minor cracks. You're not going to get a lot of cracks in the beginning. You need to roll it through the pasta machine, I find, before you get proper cracks. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to roll it through my thickest setting. You can see we're starting to get cracks. Now what I will do after each roll through is I like to take a piece of plain printing paper and give it a very minor burnish, because a lot of the time these crackle products don't stick to the clay perfectly. So just to keep them sticking, I like to give them a burnish after each roll through the pasta machine. So I rolled it from this end to this end. I'm rotating it and rolling it perpendicular to my cracks. And I'm going to go down one setting. You can see, getting some more cracks. Again, give it a very minor burnish. That will just stick things down. I'm going to rotate it again, and I'm going to go through one setting down. And we're starting to get some very interesting cracks. I don't think I need to burnish again. I'm going to take it down one more setting, and I've rotated it again. So we've got a very nice, interesting crackle there. Now I will give it a thorough burnish before we do our alcohol ink. There we are, so it is well stuck on there. Then I'm going to take my alcohol ink dabber that I got from Linda's Art Spot. And I'm going to be taking pinata inks that I also got from Linda's Art Spot. And these are the colours. And now when opening alcohol inks, do it well away from your veneer, because if you've used them before, you'll find that you have little crumbs on the surface where some dried alcohol ink has dried, and that can sprinkle onto your clay and that causes issues. So don't open it near your clay. Okay. And I'm just going to lay these colours over the surface. Okay, and then I'll just gently dab, not pressing very hard, but I'm just essentially getting alcohol ink everywhere and blending those colours together a little bit. Now we're going to take some 99% alcohol, and here is what it looks like. And I'm going to give it a spray. Okay. Give it a spray again. Okay, one more, and this time I'm going to use a wet wipe to soak up some of that. There we go. And this will give us a very light crackle. And the reason that works is because the ink is going to soak into the clay quite a bit more than it is in the crackle. So you're going to find that the lines where the clay is completely exposed, you're going to find that those are darker versus the areas where the crackle is still lying on the surface, those will be lighter. So I might give it one more spray and just give it a dab. And just give it a thorough wipe just to keep it nice and clean. There we are, and that is our crackle. Nice and effective. You can use any alcohol inks you want. I find the Pinata inks are really nice because they have very strong colours, but again you can use any colour or brand you want. Okay. And I accidentally ripped it there. I'll just show you how to fix that quickly. Sometimes you have little mishaps like that. All you do is you just grab a piece of paper and give it a very light burnish. Now something I do want to show you to get that crackle even more bright and striking is I'm going to roll it through the pasta machine one more time. Okay, and I did get some ripples, but that's fine. There we go. I got some ripples, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. Again, we're going for an organic crackle finish. So just give it a nice burnish. There we go. And you can see that we have areas where white clay is now showing. And I might use my roller just to stretch it out a little bit more. I don't want to put it through a pasta machine again because I'm getting onto my really low settings. And that is why we're getting some ripples. I'll just use my roller to just roll it out nice and flat. And that will expose some of the white clay, which will give it some nice highlights against that green. So you can go for a really soft colour of crackle, or you can go for this a little bit more striking variant. And I might just stretch a little bit as well. You can go through as many times as you want. If you wanted to go through again and your clay is getting a little thin, put a backing of put more clay on the back, and then you can go up to your higher settings and you can take it down further. But I'm pretty happy with this. I think it looks quite nice. There, I'm just going to use my roller to stretch it out. There we are. Because what happens is that crackle essentially protects the clay underneath it from getting alcohol ink on it, and that is why you will get pure white showing through. So I hope that tutorial was interesting to you. I know that a few of you have been asking me about this one-step crackle because I used the two-step Deco Art Crackle in a few of my tutorials back. And this one works really well. It creates a very similar crackle, as you can see, so you can most certainly use it in place of that two-step Deco Art Crackle. Okay, now one more thing that I do want to mention is when you bake this, you will find that you're going to get some bubbles in the ink. So here is a little piece from our veneer. I'm not sure if you can pick that up on the camera, but there are some very minor bubbles in the piece. So if you don't mind that, you can most certainly bake it. It's not going to burst into a bunch of flames or anything like that, but you will receive some bubbles. So please do have a look at my waterfall. I do believe it is my waterfall crackle tutorial. I will have a link to it in the description below the video. I show you how to bake this without getting all of those raised bubbles. So check that out. And so I do hope that this tutorial was helpful to you. If it was, let me know in the comments below. And if you would like to vote for your favourite crackle so that there is a project next month, please do consider joining my group Jessama Tutorials Polymer Clay Community. We will have a poll on there for our favourite crackle, so that at the end of the month I can choose the most popular crackle and I will work on a tutorial for it. So consider joining that group. And as always, I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.